So, where do I begin? You might have noticed a little change, namely my orc is now a blood elf. Let me explain. My party mate was able to get their account back, however, Blizzard was only able to recover their retail characters. This means they lost all of their anniversary characters and would have to start again at level 1. Now, I could have sat around and twiddled my thumbs while they created a new character. That would have been the easiest solution. However, I had a brilliant idea. Once we got to level 60 and moved into Burning Crusade, I would have needed to completely backtrack and tour the new Blood Elf starting zone introduced then. I viewed this loss of characters as an opportunity. While it did cause a mad scramble to not get behind on the series, I am now technically ahead of filming as I recorded our entire journey through Eversong Woods and the Ghostlands. I redid the zones for the most part for any quest chains that continue, and found a couple things I didn't find the first time around. The first is, if you go all the way through the Venture Company mine on the east side of Mulgore, you come out on a cliff. If you follow it all the way north, you can find an engineering trainer. Probably the most inconveniently placed profession trainer I have ever seen. The second one is at the rampart to Ashenvale. If you go behind the pig farm on the left, you find the entrance to the PvP battleground Warsong Gulch, as well as the vendor. After redoing all of the areas, I am now completely over-leveled for Wailing Caverns, but I think going forward this will be more fun getting to see the Blood Elf starting area at level instead of completely overpowering it. I unfortunately didn't get Echiaki as a pet this time, since I had already learned Claw from a lynx in the Ghostlands. So instead, meet my main pet going forward. A black raptor named Basalt. Fun fact, this raptor color is only found in the Wailing Caverns overworld cave. Raptors can learn Bite, Claw, and Dash, so they make excellent pets until Burning Crusade, where you can tame a Ravager with Gore. Going forward, I will stable Basalt if I need to tame another pet to learn an upgrade for Basalt, then switch back and beef him up. With all that out of the way, we can begin this episode with the Wailing Caverns dungeon. After collecting a party, we head into the Wailing Caverns cave. Our healer went AFK for a call, so we circle around the outside cave for Deviant hides, Wailing Essence, and Serpent Bloom before heading into the main dungeon. As the only skinner, I will be making bank from this dungeon. When you first zone in, you find a disciple of Gnarlex. He explains that Gnarlex's dreams have become tainted with serpentine visions as his focus waned. We need to awaken him from this nightmare, or he will be lost to the dream, and a great evil unleashed. He can perform an awakening ritual, but only once the Fang Lords have been defeated. This disciple also conveniently casts Mark of the Druid on us for a buff. We head into the first main chamber and, unfortunately, are completely overwhelmed by the raptors calling each other for help. This is the first hurdle of Wailing Caverns, and after this huge pull, I highly recommend pulling the raptors into the previous room to avoid this fate as well. This is also why I don't play hardcore. I would be way too scared to enter any dungeon. After our death run back, we move a bit more cautiously around the room until we find the first boss, Lady Anacondra. She drops a 10-slot bag, which would be very handy at this level. My friend ends up winning it. I also make sure to pick up Lady Anacondra's gem before moving on. We clear out the room in preparation for the escort at the end of the dungeon before moving on to the main portion of the dungeon. Down in the river, we find the optional boss of this dungeon, a yellow turtle named Kresh. We of course kill him and get a nice new shield for our tank. We follow the winding paths of the caverns, finishing Deviant eradication totals as we go, until we reach the next boss, Lord Pythias. As you can see, these all have snake names. He drops a really nice leather chest piece, but it has strength instead of agility. I decide to be nice and let the shaman have it, who will use strength more than I will. I also make sure to grab Lord Pythias' gem before moving on. A little further ahead, I finish gathering my Wailing Essences for smart drinks. I hope that goblin likes his slime. Another journey through the winding caves, we find another optional boss called Scum. We take him out and he drops a dagger with strength. Another pass. More winding corridors and we find a waterfall. This is where you need to mind the gap and jump, or plummet to the bottom and have to run all the way back up from where we killed Kresh. A little further ahead, we can find the next boss, Lord Serpentis. He yells,
I am the Serpent King. I can do anything.
Which my friend informed me is a parody of Jim Morrison, the lead vocalist of the rock band The Doors, who yelled, I am the Lizard King, I can do anything, which is now a famous quote. He drops a pair of cloth gloves, and since my friend is the only cloth wearer, he gets an upgrade. Another gem down, and we can move 5 feet to the left for the next boss, Verdun the Everling. He can be a pain as he hits hard and can cast a heal over time spell on himself. He drops an intellect shield this time, perfect for a shaman. We can just jump down a cavern behind the boss to land in the river from the beginning. We can head to the cavern at the opposite end for the last boss that has a gem. On the way to him, we finish the eradication quest with 7 vipers. At the end of the cave is Lord Cobran. He drops a cloth robe, another upgrade for my friend. One last gem picked up, and we have completed the Leaders of the Fang quest. This leaves just the escort for the final boss. We head back to the Disciple of Narlex at the beginning of the dungeon, and his dialogue has changed. He remarks that the Fang Lords are now dead, and he can perform the ritual. It is very complex, and he cannot do it alone, as he will need protection while he performs it. Narlex's nightmare creatures will try to stop us. He will lead us to Narlex when we are ready. We start the escort and head back into the first room. He stops at a torch ring to cleanse the Serpent Lords, causing some snakes to appear. He wasn't kidding about needing protection. We head up to the upper level and follow it all the way north to another chamber, where we find Narlex asleep. The Disciple starts the ritual to rescue Narlex from the Emerald Ring, causing waves of enemies to appear. First a group of snakes, then a group of slimes, and last is the final boss, a giant murloc named Mutanus the Devourer. He's not a very hard boss and goes down easy. A ring drops with very nice stats as a whole, and my friend gets it. He got a very nice haul this go around, while my bags ended up half full of leather and deviant scales. The murloc drops a glowing shard, which starts a quest. It's a swirling, mysterious gem that feels ominously disturbing. We should find someone in Ratchet who can help us figure out what this gem is. Back outside into the overworld cave, we find Mad Maglish on the way out and pick up the 99-year-old bottle of port. He can spawn in a few different locations, so this was a pretty convenient find. We head back up into the Skull Cave to sell some trash for bag space and hand in Deviant eradication. Ebru commends our bravery for entering the caverns. This is the first step to ridding this plight from the caverns and getting back to restoring the Barrens. I, of course, take the leatherworking pattern as my reward. As you might have noticed, Nullpack's quest isn't finished yet. This is because I didn't get 20 hides in Wailing Caverns. Indeed, most of our group didn't finish this quest. I only had 6 by the end. Thankfully, the overworld cave creatures can drop these, and they are not elite, but this will take a long time to finish. Well, let's get to it. Getting the remaining Serpent Bloom didn't take very long, but it took 57 minutes to get the rest of these Deviant hides. I contemplated just skipping ahead, but curiosity took hold, so I decided to count just how many raptors, snakes, and lurkers it took to get to 40 total hides. Time for a montage.
Never had a choice, never let the ops win. Calm them nerves, got the whole world watching. Ready, set, go, and there ain't no stopping. Only one option, light it up. Ha! Heart is pounding out my chest, the blood boils inside of me. Looking at the walls around me, closing in, I think, what's it gonna be? Never had a choice, never let the ops win. Calm them nerves, got the whole world watching. Ready, set, go, and there ain't no stopping. Got one option, light it up. Everything burns! Light it up, let's go! Light it up, let's go! Everything burns! Light it up, let's go! Light it up, let's go! I'm on fire, burning brighter than anyone alive. I'm way too hot to touch, so just remember if you try. Everything burns! Everything burns! Bones are shaking out my skin, I got tingling in my hands. Moving like a lightning strike, I'm on tonight, so just catch me if you can. Never had a choice, never let the ops win. Calm them nerves, got the whole world watching. Ready, set, go, and there ain't no stopping. Got one option, light it up. Everything burns! Light it up, let's go! Light it up, let's go! Everything burns! Light it up, let's go! Light it up, let's go! I'm on fire, burning brighter than anyone alive. I'm way too hot to touch, so just remember if you try. Everything burns! shaking out my skin. I got tingling in my hands, moving like a lightning strike. I'm on tonight, so just catch me if you can. Never had a choice, never let the ops win. Calm them nerves, got the whole world watching. Ready, set, go, and there ain't no stopping. Got one option, light it up. Everything burns. Light it up, let's go. Light it up, let's go. Everything burns. Light it up, let's go. Light it up, let's go. I'm on fire, burning brighter than anyone alive. I'm way too hot to touch, so just remember if you try. Everything burns. Whole house packed, not here to make friends. Do or die moment, I love it this tense. Who am I taking out thinking you're next? You're next. Everything burns. Everything burns. Light it up, let's go. Light it up, let's go. Everything burns. Light it up, let's go. Light it up, let's go. I'm on fire, burning brighter than anyone alive. I'm way too hot to touch, so just remember if you try. Everything.
After all that, we can head back to Nalpak and give him his 20 hides. At least he thanks us for our dedication on getting these hides, with a 10 slot bag and 18 silver. I take a moment here to process my many leather into items to free up bag space. I had 129 light leather, 68 medium leather, 16 light hides, 23 deviant scales, and 12 perfect deviant scales from Wailing Caverns. I will definitely get a few new gear pieces after leveling leatherwork up with this. Heading back to Ratchet, we can give the bottle of 99-year-old port to Bigglefuzz. This bottle was intended as a gift to Gazlo from Baron Revelgaz, the leader of Booty Bay. He thanks us as he was about to lose his job because of the missing bottle. We can give Mebok the Wailing Essence, who thanks us and promises to give us more money when he strikes it rich. I doubt we'll be seeing any money from him at this rate. We can talk to Sputtervalve and ask him about the glowing shard. He tells us about a druid that lives at the top of the hill that Wailing Caverns is in. She might be able to help us. I don't know why we had to ask a random goblin in Ratchet for this information, instead of just going to, I don't know, the secret cave of Nerlech's disciples to ask them about it. Anyway, back to Crossroads, and we head up the hill to find the torn hut with Fala's Sagewind in it. We show her the glowing shard, and she has no idea what it is. Great advice, Sputtervalve. After examining it, the shard is apparently pure essence of the Emerald Dream, but instead of a vision of the dream, this is more of a nightmare. She thinks we should bring this to a more experienced druid as soon as we can. Hamul, Rune Totem, and Thunderbluff should be able to help us. We can take a quick Wind Rider back to Thunderbluff and bring the Serpent Bloom to Sama and the Pools of Vision. She praises us and gives us a nice reward for the trouble. We can head to Elder Rise and give the Serpent Lord gems to Nara Wildmane. She's relieved that the Druids of the Fangs are no more and we save the Barons from a cursed future. We get many thanks on behalf of Kaya, the Druids of Thunderbluff, and the land itself. While I appreciate the recognition of her efforts, I do like the new staff. We can give the glowing shard to Hamul nearby. He is very hesitant to tell us about the shard, but with all the context clues, I can guess that the Druids are trying to keep the Emerald Nightmare under wraps, so it won't cause a panic. He decides to keep being cryptic though, and gives us a reward for bringing the shard to his attention. I take the shoulder pads, since the one I'm wearing now are just a trash gray item. Before heading out to Stonetalon, let's get some training. I've been holding off since I only got up to level 20 training on Azoth, so we have level 22 and level 24 training to get to. We can grab Hunter's Mark rank 2, Raptor Strike rank 4, and track hidden enemies, which would have been really useful for that Harpy camp in the Barrens. I also grabbed Dual Wield just in case I find 2 one-handed weapons that are an upgrade. The Pet Trainer has upgraded stamina and armor. We can now fly back to the Crossroads and head west to the Barrens border. It's finally time for another map transition. We can hand in the breadcrumb quest I picked up from Orgrimmar that I forgot to record, mostly pertaining to the Venture Company defying the land again. But this time it's deforesting part of Stonetalon Mountain. Sarith Stonebreak is happy we are here to lend a hand against these plunderers. Due to the deforestation efforts of the venture company, the spirits are enraged at the pain. We need to stop them before it gets worse. In the Windshear Crag, we need to take care of the loggers, sending a message to capitalism that the Horde won't take no exploitation, using the only means they understand: violence. Makaba Flathoof's village was raided by the Grim Totem clan, and most everyone was killed. He wants revenge for their terrible deed. If you're wondering why I don't like Magatha Grim Totem, it's because she leads this clan and clearly has zero respect for the other tribes. I don't even know that much about Tauren, but I knew enough to hate Magatha. We avenge Makaba's tribe by taking out the marauding Grim Totem and head back. He's grateful for our actions, but will never forget what the Grim Totem has done to his village. The leader of the attacking Grim Totem is Grundig Darkcloud. If we dare, we can storm his camp to take him out and his brutes. No head needed this time. Before heading there, we can take a small stop into Malakajan, a troll village. Zenzilla tells us that spiders have been raiding their camps at night. First raptor bandits, now spiders. He wants us to cull them to help the village, not even requiring proof. What is this? Did Blizzard figure out that they might have been asking for too many severed heads? Darn Talongrip has another breadcrumb quest to go to Kadrak and Ashenvale. We'll skip this as we already did the same quest in the Barrens. There's a butcher nearby as we run to the nearby cave. We can hand Witch Doctor Jinzil the letter from Darsok, the orc who wanted all the harpies killed. He mentions Rokon went with Rexar to kill the older sister harpy way back, reminiscing about it. Jinzil has 3 captive night elves and wants to give them a taste of his forest magic. In order to help him with this, we need to get him Stonetalon Sap, Twilight Whiskers, Courser Eyes, and a Fey Dragon Scale. All of these are in the northern half of the map, and will be done in part 2. Heading into the Grim Totem camp, we can fight our way in and find Kaya Flathoof. We need to rescue her and return her to Makaba. We can come back and kill Grundig after. We follow her out of the camp and around to the destroyed village, where we deal with one more ambush and she's confident she can find her way back to Makaba. We head up to finish off the brutes, but completely forget about Grundig. We head back to Makaba and let him know we rescued Kaya. We should tell Tamra Winfield, Kaya's aunt, the good news in Sunrock Retreat. One more trip back to the Grim Totem camp, and actually taking out Grundig this time, we can head back to Makaba and let him know we killed him. He's grateful for what we have done for him this day. Heading north, we can wind our way around through the mountain path and start taking out spiders. As we move up the road, we find a wanted poster for Besseleth. You can find this mother of spiders in the Shishir Canyon to the west. We can get a reward from Magron Earthbinder in Sunrock Retreat if we bring proof of her demise. We continue the spider purge west into Shishir Canyon, finding the spider eggs Mebok wanted in Ratchet. We find Besseleth and take her down, grabbing a fang before heading out and finishing the spider purge. Continuing north, we can find a green goblin hut with Ziz Physics in it. He's already complaining about Sputtervalve being a slave driver, but thinks it's still better than working for a gnome. Sputtervalve wants Ziz to find blueprints for an enormous woodcutting machine in the crag, but the gnome has a kill-on-sight order out for Ziz. He's hoping we can steal the plans for him from one of the operators. Heading into Windshear, I find the last of the spider eggs. We climb up the large machine and find the blueprints for the Super Reaper 6000, which does sound like a gnome named it. We spend a bit of time taking out the 15 loggers for Sarith before heading back to Ziz. Ziz is happy we found the blueprints, but he can't understand them. He places it in an envelope with the rest of the information he has on the venture company and wants us to take it to Sputtervalve for further instructions on what to do. We can head northwest up to Sunrock Retreat now. We can talk to Tamra, who is happy to find out that Kaya is alive. Due to the scale of destruction done to Stonetalon, Tamra thinks only the Gaia Seed will be able to restore it. They can be found north at Merkfallen Lake. We should bring 10 seeds back. We can head over to Magron Earthbinder to give him Besseleth's Fang, where he mentions that he had been attacked by her, so he posted the bounty. He praises us for a good hunt and hopes more people will journey to Sunrock now that the threat is eliminated. We need to bring a letter to Grish Longrunner at the Great Lift at the southern end of the Barrens. This will relieve him of his post to go visit his family, as a reserve warrior will be taking his place. And unfortunately, the Harpy menace continues. We need to cull a number of the Bloodfeather Harpies in Stonetalon as they are encroaching on the lives of innocent people. We can tackle this in Stonetalon Part 2. Especially after I had to do the Harpies in the Barrens twice. Over by the lake, we can find Brayland Firehand. She is incensed that the Night Elves and the Cenarius Dryads are stifling the flow of magic with the tree hugging up at the peak. She wishes she could return to Jadenar, but her master won't let her yet. We need to purge the peaks of these pesky magic-disrupting menaces. For context, Jadenar is a corrupted druid den in Felwood that's been taken over by the Shadow Council and Warlocks, so I can't help but feel that Braylon is being a little biased here to nature magic. The building next to Magran is the inn, which has an innkeeper and, on the second floor, an apprentice witch doctor who ends up being a reagent vendor. The large tent has a butcher, a general goods vendor, a forge, and an anvil inside. Outside the tent around the back, we can find the trade goods vendor and the bower. We can talk to the flight master to learn the flight point and head to Ratchet to hand in a couple quests. I forgot to hit record when I took a break before Ratchet, and will need to just show off the quests I got while I was over there. After handing in the quest to kill 15 Venture Company loggers, Sarith needs us to ask one of the Tauren Elders for aid on how to tend to the agitated spirits in the Windshear Crag. She wants us to ask Magatha for some reason, the leader of the marauding Tauren in Stonetalon that's half the problem, to aid us in this endeavor. We could have asked Hamul, or even Cairn for help, but no, the most untrustworthy elder it is. Sarith also wants us to take down 2 shredders in Windshear Crag, XT4 and XT9, who are felling trees even faster than the loggers were. We need to stop them before they can do any more damage to the mountain. I handed in the deep moss eggs to Mebok, and he's just using it for another get-rich-quick scheme. We got some silver for our trouble. We handed on the information from Sis Physics and got new orders for him. The trade princes do not approve of hiring a gnome for a goblin operation. Gorenzo must be removed as a test for Ziz, which pretty much means he's going to ask us to take him out. Back to Zenzilla, we can tell him we culled the spiders. He thanks us and appreciates that he will have fewer uninvited guests from now on. Heading back north to Ziz, he's all for the plan to take out Gorenzo. The gnome was one of the head engineers in Nomergon before the accident. Don't worry, I'll do a lore dump later when we get to Dunmorrow. Based on Ziz's description, it looks like Gorenzo is a leper gnome with mecha gnome limb enhancements. We can find him at the water wheel at the top of the waterfall in Windshear. Based on the map, there is a quest in the nearby cave. We decided to go do this one first while waiting for the shredders to respawn. There's a lot of kobolds in this cave, so we take our time to get down to Piznik. His boss used to be Ziz before Gorenzo took over. Ziz told Piznik to stay with the Venture Company to act as a spy. Gorenzo has ordered all of the diggers to get lots of the gold-green ore in this mine. Piznik can mine us a sample if we watch his back while he works. After a few rounds of kobold overseers coming to check out mining sounds in a mine for some reason, Piznik has our sample. Piznik is going to sneak out of here, but we should bring the ore sample to Ziz. We fight our way back out of the mine and find XT9 nearby. He's easy to take down, even with a couple loggers joining in. A bit more north, we find XT4 and take him out too, finishing up that quest. Since it's nearby, we head up the side of the lakes to the water wheel scaffolding. Running around all the way to the end looking for Gorenzo, we find Nizik the Venture Armor Salesman. He sells mail armor, but also some limited green items. He actually had a pretty nice pair of agility and spirit leather pants that I decided to buy as an upgrade. After that randomly placed shop, we head back along the scaffold, find Gorenzo, and take his mechanical arm. Leaping off the side of the scaffolding to the lake below, we head back to Ziz. We give him Gorenzo's arm, and Ziz contemplates why we would want to replace a perfectly good arm with a mechanical arm when you could just give yourself a third arm. Ziz is hoping for a new position in the Tinkers Union now that Gorenzo is taken care of. We also give him the weird ore that Piznik mined up. He's sure the engineers in the Undermine will be interested in figuring out what's so special about this ore. Heading back south, we can let Sarith know that the shredders are now destroyed. The spirits have been soothed by the removal of the machines. She hopes the Venture Company will leave the mountain after this. Taking a quick Hearthstone back to Sunrock, we can grab the quest I missed last time we were here. Trouble in the Deeps is in Ashenvale, so we'll skip it for now. The Tribunal of the Tides has sent Sunamon to wage war on the fire elementals in Stonetalon. Neptulon the Tide Hunter, lord of all water elementals, is especially interested in seeing the fire elementals extinguished. We need to help him gain favor with the Tribunal by taking out fire elementals in the Charred Vale and gathering their Incendrites. Morrigal feels there is something amiss in Stonetalon. Southeast in the Boulder Slide Ravine, the kobolds are frantically mining a rare crystal called resonite. We need to bring back samples of this crystal so he can figure out what is happening in the cave. We also need to investigate the back of the cave and report back to him. When I decided to split Stonetalon, mostly because of the time constraints due to the hacked account and redoing our characters, I went with splitting it diagonally through Sunrock north and south. We can finish up this Boulder Slide Ravine quest and come back later for the quests 20 and over, like in the Barrens. We head into the mine and find purple crystals all over. We make sure to investigate the back of the cave while collecting them. They have a very high respawn rate, so it takes no time at all to get 10 we need and head back to Sunrock. We give the crystals to Morrigal, where after seeing the crystals he remembers a legend about the Earthen, which is what the kobolds must have dug up. According to the legend, the Earthen are creatures created by the Titans and were used to create the land of Azeroth. Deep within the cave is Gogorok. Morrigal changes the crystals so we can smash them at the resonite cask. Once he is awake, we are to slay him. Since this quest is level 20, I will do it next episode. We can end off the video by going to talk to Magatha back in Thunderbluff, as much as I would prefer not to. While I dislike Magatha, she at least has a good point that we cannot heal the land of Stonetalon without first addressing the cause of the withering. She wants us to ask Apothecary Zama for aid in purging the disease of the land. This lady is pretty popular. This is the third quest we've had for her so far. We head to the Pools of Vision, where, apparently, Magatha's messenger has already made it here to inform her of the request. I have no idea how, as I took the most direct route here with Cheetah on. In order to help rid Stonetalon of the Venture Company, Zama wants us to take extreme, but not deadly measures. We need to talk to Lydon in Terra Mill in Hillsbrad Foothills. It'll be a long time before we go here, so we can just backburner this request for now. For now though, the primary reason I am moving on is we have one more 10 to 20 section left to do, and I don't want to get too over-leveled before doing it, as the dungeon there is level 25. In the next episode, we'll be heading back to the Eastern Kingdoms and going through Silver Pine Forest. See you there! Thank you so much for watching my video. I know this is a much shorter one, but I didn't want it to be late if I could help it. I've managed to keep my release schedule of every 2 weeks on Sunday so far, and I don't want to miss one already this early in the series. I hope you guys don't mind the character switch too much, but I wanted to play this game with my friend. That was the whole point at first, so I don't want him to have to completely redo his character again by himself. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed my video. It keeps the creativity juices flowing and the memes coming. Bye bye for now!